Okay, so it's been a couple months since I last played GemCraft. I'm gonna have to get accustomed to the controls and stuff again, but this is a very cool tower defense game that I really like the way the difficulty is handled in this. If you play it at speed, at like the default speed, it's kind of trivial, but you don't get a lot of points. It just kind of lets you progress without getting any score. Once you start to feel aggressive, you can speed it up at will. So like the difficulty dynamically adjusts to how good you are or how willing you are to make it harder. And I haven't seen a lot of games that have that sort of curve. Triple damage, splash, slow, steal, mana, shock. And that's from left to right. Yellow's triple damage, red is splash, dark blue is slow, orange is steal mana, and light blue is shock. Let's see, guys. Water trench. Quick way to slow down the monsters or create water trenches in their path. Yeah, done that before. I take my time with this one. Start with no gems on this one, huh? And each gem I create is random, too. We might actually want the Mana Steel gem at the beginning, I guess we'll see. Can make some trenches at the start here. We want to place our towers near intersections so that they are hitting as much of the path at a time as possible, right? Increase the mana pool, which gives you more score eventually. And remember, I can use that gem bomb if I get in a bind. So I think this is an appropriate place because it hits all of these road squares. They can hit like one adjacent square. I think it might be more than one. It's got to be more than one. It looks like that's two. I guess it shows me when I hover over it. So it looks like it goes about 1, 2 in every direction. So I can just count the potential road tile coverage of the tower when I go to do that. So like this is a corner, but it's not great. This is probably pretty good right over here because 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Probably do more water trench down here and then start picking up some mana increases. There's no reason to have a trench that's outside of the range of a tower, it looks like, so I can put another one here, but then there's no point in putting one at the entrance, unless if I, in a very silly way, added another tower there. Hey, sir. This game has a lot of entries, right? There's several sequels. I'm pretty sure they're all Flash games. I don't know if there are any that are just straight up on Steam. After this wave, I might swap one of these for an orange one just to get more mana. Looks like gem swapping is pretty fast too. If they make it over here, that's not the end of the world. It's not great, but I do have enough extra gems over there to be able to fight them. I don't have a lot of little baby gems just sitting around, though. It's going to be part of the issue. So maybe moving my Mana Steel gems over was not a good idea. Squares do significantly more damage. Right. I think those also have helpful features on top of that. Whereas Mana Steel is probably less damage than every other gem, I would guess. Yeah, they take a pretty high penalty to damage because of the added effect. I'll try to fish for the color that I want here. Well, these are kind of like bosses. They might be tricky. Probably a waste of a diamond. Threw the wrong one. That's okay. Shit happens. I can make a bunch of little ones so I have fodder for throw gem for later. I'm not getting any oranges in the meantime. This is probably the purest tower defense game I've ever played. I haven't really interfaced with this genre too much. Like, I've never played... What's the most popular tower defense game? Plants vs. Zombies, probably? I can only have so many of the cheap ones, I guess. Not getting any extra orange gems to combine. I guess I could combine those two and then put a yellow in the other one. Pure yellow is chance of triple damage, and I don't really care for that too much. So many yellows. Gross. Three is to create gems. I probably want to use that more if I can. 4 is to combine gems. 6 looks like. And you can only combine 2 like gems. Oh, I don't have enough mana to do it right now. I see. Hey, Capo, how's it doing? How are you doing? Triple damage. Hopefully they won't be able to get through up there. I guess I can always throw some gems at them at the end if I need to. Nice. You looking forward to the time off? I like the balance between macro and micro in this game too. I think that's very cool. You won't be doing anything productive. The cost of everything you do in this game gets more and more expensive the more times you do it, right? Like each bit of sorry, I can use my words here. Each piece of moat costs more. Now, is that unique to each sort of action? Or, like, is it just based on total mana spent? The more mana you spend, the more expensive everything becomes later on? Kill this boss one. It's each action. Okay. Cannot get orange gems. There's one. So inefficient. And I'm out of gems. So I'm going to take some damage here as I get back in the habit of this. And I guess having this extra gem with coverage over the road here doesn't really help me if there's things on the right that are distracting it. Hey, earned it. Not really. Didn't earn it at all. Oh, you know, I didn't notice that the mana pool increased mana gain. I was trying to figure out, like, why would I want my maximum to be higher? I feel like if I'm playing the game correctly, I should be spending all of my mana all the time. You don't ever want mana to cap, but that makes a little bit more sense if that's how it's supposed to work. I'll get some fast ones now, yikes. I guess to combine, they have to already be in my normal inventory. Oh wow, I actually lost. I didn't think I died if they just made it to my base. Because I was only the one that ever made it to my base. Is it because I happen to be out of mana and they hurt my mana when they get there? I guess it's good to see what happens when you game over in this. I see. So if I'm going to let them hit, I can't just, you know, willy-nilly spend all my mana when they get close to my exit. Okay, I think I'm a little bit more prepared to try this one again. Maybe. It seems like it's correct when it's cheap enough to do so to have a large stash of level 1 gems on you. And you accrue some mana for killing a mob no matter what, whether you've got mana steal or not, so that's good to keep in mind. It's interesting that taking the mana speed increases your score. It makes it seem like it's like not necessarily a beneficial thing to do. Like it's more beneficial to take other actions, and that's kind of like intentionally gimping yourself. Speeding up the waves gives me a mild score increase as well. So it has the advantage of AoE damage. That's probably a waste to kill it on its own. That guy. She passed out right after the stream. Nice. So sleepy. I get an orange gem over there. I wanted that last time. I think if I put another tower below this one, it's not terrible. It still covers a lot of road squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should figure out like what the minimum number of road squares to cover is always going to be a good choice for a tower, you know? I bet there is a minimum. So I should put a blue in there rather than have nothing running. Same for colors up here. See. This square should be in range of both of those towers, I think, if I'm understanding it correctly. I may as well advance the wave if there's nothing on the screen. That's just lost score in that case. There's no penalty in doing it that way. I feel like this square is slightly worse to put a tower on, even though it has decent coverage on both sides. A lot of this game seems to be about managing opportunity costs. Like, do you try to get your gems to as high a level as possible first? Do you try to maximize your mana generation first? It's hard to say. So I'm going to call one in since those towers do nothing for me right now. After that one gets out of the way of the big boss, I'll swap it out for the blue. Blue, I think, is a slow. Yeah, it's not bad. I'll take another orange over here, maybe in lieu of the yellow, and the yellow can help me when I get up here. If I can make another tower for it soon, I'll try to. Let's see. Here, maybe? That seems like that's pretty good coverage on the hull. New waves. I imagine you get GemCraft vision after you play this game a certain amount, where you can just sort of tell that's the best possible place to put a new tower, or this is, I should totally be getting moat first. I can't raw craft the next level of gem that I want. And it costs 600. Oh, I should have triggered a wave there anyway. Oops. They're gonna get it. It's fine. Probably need to start upgrading gems. Squares aren't cutting it this late on. I keep wanting to get more trenches, but that's not really helping me as much right now. I'm gonna keep it in range. They take more damage over here. May as well. Hopefully these three guys hold that guy up pretty well. I guess that is the best possible space for a trench. The space to the right of it's also quite good. I'm trying to decide if I want to place that there now or not. Having a slow there was nice. I might want to put another tower there to get that back. I think slows stack as well. I guess I'm not 100% sure on that. Multiple towers applying a slow, stack the slow, I assume. Having some splash up here might be good too. I'm gonna try to get another tower built in that corner. Hey random, how you doing? It's not a terrible place for one. It still has a lot of road coverage. Let's throw that in there. Let's think though. I can put a trench here and that covers all four of those towers. Oh, where's that badge come from? I haven't seen it before. Oh, it's for supporting the charity. That's cool. Careful on the fast ones. Yeah, Retro Rocket put this on his sublock. Oh, heck yeah. I like mana steal way too much. It's gonna get me in trouble. I guess I accrue mana here and then I kill them here, but... Generally, if you need one resource to do things, something that lets you do more things is going to be OP a lot of the time. I don't think it's tuned in such a way that Mana Steel is totally busted. It's pretty good though. It's nice on bosses, I guess. Where you're getting tons of hits in before they leave. I guess it depends on how many shots they have during the wave is a better way to think about it. If they don't have enough shots during the wave, then it doesn't really matter. You played it before a long time ago. And stacking slow is quite nice. What does this do? 30% chance to shock, which like freezes them in place, I guess? Okay. Let's see. Do I want to keep crafting or let my mana accrue? Can they all hit that top corner? Not quite. They can all hit this bottom one though. I don't think it warrants an additional tower yet. It might be able to get that bottom left corner. I'm not 100% sure. I just be able to see my current mana accrual rate somewhere. So that's pretty good because that covers 3 towers if I put another one there. Canyon defense, is that also a tower defense game? Oh, cool. That's shock chance, though. 14% chance to shock. It's not a very high percent chance. I think that's an okay place for a tower. I'm not sure. It looks like it. I guess shock is better on slow-moving creatures because it's much more likely to get a trigger off eventually, especially if it's near other towers. Like shock would be kind of trash in a tower that was totally isolated. Spending things in canyons, right on. I really think my strategy right now, the main flaw is that I'm investing too much in everything that's not increasing the level of my gems. And I think making even one tower's gem do more damage per hit should be a really high priority for me. Like, it's easier for me to visualize the immediate benefit of more mana or slowing the creatures down in a square. Maybe if I saw floating damage numbers that would help. I can look at 12 to 37, 19 to 55. Yeah, it's a pretty big jump. I mean, the minimum doesn't go up that much, but the maximum is pretty different. Spend my remaining mana here and blow these guys up as best as I can. Leave gems in storage that are better than deployed gems and bomb them. Yeah. Oh, did I have one earlier that was better than the ones I had deployed? I didn't see which one it was. Maybe I had some diamonds. I guess I'm also unwilling to change colors just because there's a quality upgrade, but it seems like that's generally a good idea. Like, the extra damage per hit is better than whatever the added effect was. Is bombing generally mana inefficient? Is it something you kind of just do in an emergency? Start at least 15 gem bombs, build at least 3 towers, create at least 25 gems. Back to the map. Alright. Glowing frame. Triple damage, chain hit, reduce armor, splash and slow. Right, because it's going to do damage over the entire game. You're thinking about like mana efficiency. That makes sense. I always forget which building they come out of. They come out of the smaller building. No, they come to the big one. Build an extra tower when I get a chance here. Greens fire faster. Okay. Oops. Hopefully the cooldown runs out in time. It looks like it tends to... The starting towers are all fairly correct beginning. Like, it doesn't really give you really bad starting tower positions, it seems like. I'm gonna try to save for a gem tier upgrade here. How much faster is it? Plus 11. Oh, chain hit is like, it's kind of like splash. What's the difference between a chain hit and splash? Those don't share a tile, which is unfortunate. And this is a not incredible place to put a tower. I guess it covers a lot of horizontal road, and then it shares a space with these two. Chain is ricochet. Oh, so it doesn't splash everything. It bounces off of that to like one additional target. I should put something in there rather than have nothing. Can always move it out later. This square, I guess they can't all get there, so maybe both of those squares I eventually want to cover. Purple is reduced armor level, so we want that to trigger early, since it'll make them take damage from all additional gems. So I'll swap it with this one eventually. Try to be patient and wait for a gem quality upgrade here to get up to diamond. Because I also struggle with the fact that like when I go to wait to create a new gem, I might get a gem type that I don't like, but I guess it doesn't matter. Like, getting a diamond gem is a significant DPS increase regardless of what the added effect is on the gem. create lots of small ones and then merge the good ones? Like, is it strictly better to create small ones? I'm trying to figure that out as well. Like, if the math works out that it's exactly the same overall mana cost to create and then combine. I see. It's just spreading out the risk a little bit. Sure. I should try to figure out what creating costs. Costs 1. 213 to make a square gem. Let's see, combine costs. It can't be a flat 180, is it? No, that must go up the higher the possible combinations, would be my guess. So if it's 30 to create a small one and 213, yeah, it's cheaper to combine, barely, or at least it's close enough. I don't know if the combine's a flat cost though for the, because that makes it way cheaper to combine. It's not cheaper since you need 2 gems. Ah, I see. Yeah. I was forgetting that I'm combining 2 gems. So it is more expensive, but it makes sure that I get the kind that I want, basically. Sure. Because throwing green gems are like the worst possible gem to throw because the added effect is fire rate. And that doesn't help me at all. Oops. But if the cost of combine is fixed to 180 mana, maybe it gets more efficient the later that you do it. Perhaps. Like I should be able to combine now, right? Yeah. I'd have to like plop it into Excel and think about it. I gotta get my mana back here. Well, the benefit of combination is to be going through some long stages or to be regularly upgrading, which you already have set. You don't have to combine like colors. Oh, I don't think I realized that. So if you combine unlike colors, oh, that's right, it combines their effects. I do remember that now. That's right. I don't know if it's generally correct to do one or the other, though. Try throwing in triple damage gems. I guess you mix the gem colors, then you get some of both of the effects that you like. As long as I have some mana, I should be okay when it comes back to the start. But it's a pretty significant mana hit. Does the mana damage that you take from them reaching the end, is that based on which creature makes it to the end? I should wait until I have mana to combine. Yeah, it's just been a while since I played it. They explained that you can combine like colors or unlike colors the first time I played it. But that was like a month ago. Might be based on their HP. Ah. should be fine. Okay, and as I get to higher gems, I'm starting to see the value of increasing the mana cap more, just because it makes it harder to cap when there's a big wave that you're blowing through really fast. I think I ultimately want to swap the purple with the green over here, so once those guys get out of range, I want the armor penalty to be the first thing that happens to them, so that the other gems can do more damage for the duration. They do have to be of like, if they don't have to be the like color, they have to be of like quality, right? Like I can't combine a diamond with a square. Oh, also I see, so it has to game over if you have no mana when you take mana damage, otherwise it would be correct to just dump all your mana when you're about to take damage. Sure. Yeah, shape. Quality. It's not ideal. I mean, you get like half of the effects of both of the gems that you combined, or is it worse than half? Oh, I just saw the ricochet there. And then it rolls that chance to ricochet on each successive ricochet, I assume. Proportional to heritage. Okay, so if you have a green and a purple, it'll be the 50% the efficacy of the green effect, 50% the efficacy of the purple effect, and if you do 3 gems, it'll be a third of each. Sure. Just kind of I see. But it still seems like the benefit of having a higher ranked gem is going to be good no matter what. Like, I'm about to die to mana, aren't I? Shit. Shouldn't have spent there. Oof. And we might just barely make it. Nope. Shouldn't have built that tower. Or if I wasn't to build it, I should have built it sooner to get some of the guys in the back. You click on a monster, it shows you the mana drain. I see. Alright, let's try this one again. This is a genre that I basically have to learn. I have very little history, well, no history with it at all. It seemed like it, like I said, it's a lot of it is seeing the Matrix, getting tower defense vision. And fortunately, the game is good at giving you feedback as to whether you're doing well or not. Like, it seems like if you're playing correctly, creatures should never get to the exit. So if they're not, you know you're doing something wrong, and you can ask yourself the question, okay, what mistakes am I making? How can I improve right now? That's not a terrible spot for a tower, like maybe directly below that one. I see. 96 mana to banish. Oh, an armor skill is a thing I can put points in after I actually win levels, that's right. Okay, so I don't have to move gems in my inventory first. That's good to know. Let's see, where do I have overlap for a moat up here? These 3 squares. Probably build moat. Last game, I think I went too focused on gems instead of on other features. So I really got to get the balance just right. I'm trying to figure out whether it's better to build moats earlier on the path or if it technically matters. I guess you want to have the creature be in as many towers range for as long as possible. So I don't know if it actually matters. I think I also need to be willing to combine gems during waves that are there. I mean, the cooldown is punishing, but it's not as punishing as having a weaker gem. Appears to be the case anyway. We should be okay on those guys, even though it's kind of a weak gem down here. Should have done that a little bit sooner. We'll see what happens. We don't want the armor gem to be at the very bottom, though. I might swap those around here in a second. Triple damage gem is pretty swingy. Try to get one more moat right here. Should probably go all along this corner. It could be moat. Get those 2 towers to get a bunch of hits in. Should probably get more purples up there, though, if I'm going to do that. Okay. For this sort of level, I want as many purples as possible at the very beginning. Let's see what I need to get a diamond here. It's 579 mana. Wait on the combined mana threshold to come back here. Whatever's cheaper between tower and moat. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out a rule for that. So I've definitely played games like this where the cost for your opportunity cost action gets... Oops, wrong order. Sorry. The cost for your opportunity cost action gets lower and lower compared to everything else as the game goes. Like, you're getting so much economy that it becomes trivial to get mana or to get a trench or something. And once it becomes trivial, you should build it, I think. If I've learned the same lesson from this game as other games with similar economies. Oh, why move the Pentagon to the bottom? So it can help with the boss? Oh, that's part of the micro I want to be doing if there's not waves for the top one to be fighting. Because the cooldown's fairly short. I think I see. In that case, I was confident that Diamond was going to be able to clear it. But I think I see your point. Great. If I didn't have other waves running at the same time. Now that's only if I wasn't planning on triggering another wave to give them something to do, I guess. I can go ahead and micro if I'm doing just the one wave at a time. I should probably build an extra tower down here. It's gonna start out as trash, but I'll make some better stuff for it. Finish it off! You can do it! Good job. That one's armor level as well, right? Okay, we'll swap those. Maybe even merge them. I guess part of the problem with building towers that are later on the path, just trying to think of like the total mana efficiency of any action in this game. Like, your most mana efficient towers will always be the ones at the very beginning of the path because they will basically always be firing if you're managing your waves appropriately. Building late towers is insurance if you make mistakes, but not a good idea strictly. Front loaded and crowded. Oh shit, I didn't realize I had an unmanned tower there. Whoops. Swap those anyway. To armor down to be first. Hopefully they're not moving too fast for me to kill them. Phew. Get as big of an armor penalty as I can in that top left corner. Assuming that it stacks, I think it does. I guess if the armor penalty does not stack, that's important for me to learn because then I'll stop putting purple ones close to each other. As each subsequent hit doesn't help. So I don't see it going down at all. Okay. What square is in range of both of those? It's a Hail Mary to finish him off down there. So is it possible to make a really, really strong like build essentially where you just have so much AoE damage that you can just click wave, 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 wave and blow them all up really fast? This challenge is I'm mostly dependent on single target damage, which is unfortunate. Ouch. But that's really satisfying to go for though. Alright, and I've abandoned gems again, so I gotta get back on the improve my gems train here. Get everything at least to Pentagon. That's how you play. Right. So like if you have a level that allows for splash gems, you just try to get as much splash as possible as early as possible. That makes sense. Right. For a single target, if they break through, you'll probably kill the little guy without too much trouble. Jeez, this is rough. I guess that's the advantage of throwing gems. Throwing gems can be mana efficient if you don't have a lot of AoE. Like, I have no AoE in this mission at all. So they can let me get a bunch of damage in all at once if I aim them correctly, which I didn't do there. This is the wave that killed me last time, too. Oh, I was close to mana cap there, that's bad. Should never let myself get mana capped. Purple, lime, yellow. This is like the use case for gem bombs here, I think. And I don't have enough AoE. Those guys just don't want to die regardless, shit. I don't think I can sneak out a kill there. Having one tower near the front that I keep upgrading for a really powerful gem that I can move if necessary. I see. So you, rather than trying to spread the love across your whole board, you kind of go more for stacking in one place and then moving around later if you need to. These things get pretty fast. Oof. Just barely lived there. I kind of deserved to die. Great, I gotta get it out. So I can't merge directly from the towers. Oh, we were at the end. Gotten it close. You end up with a lot of empty towers or with whatever random lowest tier gems I get until they can be upgraded. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't really be... If I have late towers, I think one of my biggest weaknesses in this game is I'm really unwilling to move gems because the cooldown freaks me out. But the cooldown's only like a second or two. Let's see. Mana gain per kill up. Our initial and maximum mana. Ooh, I think I want per second. That sounds much better. Let's see. I don't care about more initial and maximum. I want generation. Alright, so I probably won't be able to finish this next one. I'm going to give it a shot, though. Try to do some fast forwarding. Perhaps the extra mana from the skills will help a little bit. Shift and control. To combine as much same grade gems as possible, click on a gem while holding the control key after selecting the combine gem spell. Oh, that's cool. To create as many gems as possible of the selected grade. Ah, you can like fill them out. Not a great start on this one, huh? Gotta build a tower like ASAP here. Get maximum vision of both roads. Probably here isn't terrible. Is there a hotkey to increase game speed? I like to toggle that like on and off if possible. It's not like space, it looks like. Combine would be nice here. I've got slow and splash. So I can try to get some splash at the start there. Not a great position for a moat right there, unfortunately. Moat's probably better over by these towers. I should probably be building more well, I don't know if more towers is a good idea. The more towers you build, the more thinly you spread yourself out, right? So there's not really a right answer to that. Wow, it doesn't quite reach, does it? I should have put it there. But, well, I guess it does, actually. Hang on. Splash is nice when it works. Wow, upping that skill for extra mana per second and mana per kill is pretty significant. I'm a fan. I'm trying to get another diamond over here if I can. Guess it would reduce the splash radius to 7 instead of... Actually, that seems really good. I don't really care about the splash radius so long as it splashes at all. Oh, yeah. Because a lot of these things stay pretty close to each other the entire time, so I feel like there's a much smaller penalty for mixing splash gems, since even a splash radius of 1 would be pretty good in a lot of cases. I guess this is where I'm weak right now, is single target damage. Yeah, there's like 36 waves. I think I'm just gonna push on time here, and I'll deduct it from the next one. It's kind of hard. I think like an individual run in this game takes like 15 minutes or longer. So the last subblock game today is War of Omens. So we'll start that once I finish this map here. Because that's not a great location. Could be worse, but not by much. Get as much splash as we can over on the right side here would be good after that thing dies. Put something in there at least. More towers are useful. The trade-offs, how expensive it gets, can be worthwhile sometimes. Just save for mana pool upgrades. Yeah, my old strategy was to spend basically all my mana on mana pool, and that seems kind of bad, actually. Hold on. It's the strongest single gem I've ever had. Pretty good. Oh wow, that's kind of the dream right there, isn't it? slow them there as much as we can with my Uber gem. Yeah. Okay, so I think stacking can be very good if you're smart about it. I'm learning. Especially splash stacking. 28% slow is pretty good. Double those up in a second here. Backfires as often as it helps playing blind. I see. Once you see what the waves are going to look like, basically. Sure. Highest tier gem ever made, grade 7. Very exciting. Worst possible way for it to start with, though. Keep everything stocked with at least a shitty gem, I guess. See if the baby gems are good enough to kill that boss. I should have triggered that earlier when they were over here. I could move it, but it's got a bunch of splashing to do right now. I guess it's going to come in range of my Uber gem again, so that's good. Let's put that there instead. See how crazy I can go at the end here. So I can move these gems around now once they get out of range. Got it. That's cool. That went much better than the first couple attempts. You've reached a higher level. I got quite a bit closer to a glowing frame that time, too. Oh no, I got the glowing frame. Nice. Okay, that's cool. Here, I'll take the skills that I need here. Number of basic starter gems. I could see that being useful eventually. Alright, and then we're going to call it here. Let me make sure that I save. I think saving happens. Save does not happen automatically. Okay, future Marstead. To make sure that you're actually learning lessons in between GemCraft sessions, I watched the end of the last GemCraft video, and I did not give, past me did not give me advice. So try to make a really, really strong, potentially AoE gem at the very beginning of the level. Get a lot of stacked damage early on. Be willing to move gems. Don't go deep on all mana, whatever you do. Don't go deep on lots and lots of towers because you're spreading out your influence, and don't spend too much on trenches. Try to make a super gem at the beginning and be willing to move it, and then just kind of back up the later parts as necessary. All right, last game for today is on mobile, so it's going to be a little tricky for me to get it working on stream, but I'm going to see if I can get it to work. I'll be back in a little bit with War of Omens. See you guys soon.